Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my broadcast. Today is day 332 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. It's going to be tough to say tomorrow. If this is your first time checking out one of my broadcasts, a little bit about me and my channel. My name is Jonathan. I'm married. We have 4 children, and I've been overweight my whole life. And I've known for a long time that I needed to do something, but I created this challenge as kind of a platform or a stepping, a way to get started. And the two big things about this challenge, just like I said at the beginning, is that it's for 3 years, which, means I'm going to commit to, making my health a focus for 3 years. A lot of times in the past, I've done diets and I'm great for a couple days, weeks, months, maybe even as long as 9 months. But anything past that, it's really tough, or has been really tough for me in the past. And a lot of times I was on diets that weren't very sustainable. And I knew it at the time, but they provided great results. And so I knew that I needed to find a way of eating that was going to be the way that I eat the rest of my life, or at least it was sustainable for me to eat. I figured that if I did this challenge for 3 years, that would give me a chance to kind of lose the weight, figure out the diet, maintain the weight loss, and figure out a way to live the rest of my life. And then the other aspect of this is that I want to lose 300 pounds. I've lost large amounts of weight in the past. The most I've lost is a little over 100 pounds or 120 pounds in about a 9-month period before I started this challenge. And, a lot of times I'd hit those goals for whatever event it was, or a wedding, if it was a wedding or a graduation or something, I'd get down the weight or get some of the weight off and feel better and be healthier and better for that event. But then, I would either, I would lose focus. But, even when I lost that 100 pounds and I was down to under 300 pounds, I was still very overweight. And so I wasn't out of the woods yet, I guess is the best way to explain it. And I want to get myself out of the woods. I want to no longer be obese. And if I lose 300 pounds, I will then be considered overweight. And hopefully I can lose more than 300 pounds. But that's kind of what, I want to do, get to that point. If getting under 300 pounds is going to be a huge enough milestone for me, getting down to 250 or even 225 is going to be uncharted territory as far as a weight for me since I was maybe 17, or, the 225. I know I've been more than 225 pounds. Really, I was more than that my freshman year, since junior high. But my freshman year of high school, I was up around 250. At one point, I lost 25 pounds for a wrestling event. And so that's kind of how I know that I was 225 pounds when I was a freshman. But that was, kind of the last time that I was not really in a obese category. Carrie's checking in saying hi. Hi, Carrie. I hope everything is going well at home today. So yeah, that's about me doing this challenge. Everything has been going great so far. I started the challenge with an extended water fast and switched over to a whole food plant-based diet after that, and really have been enjoying the whole food plant-based diet, and have lost almost 200 pounds in coming up on 11 months. At the 9-month mark, I did lose 200 pounds, but I had surgery last month on my arm, which caused some setbacks with the weight, but I'm not worried about it. The weight will come off again. I just got to keep, kind of plugging away with the diet and keep doing what I'm doing, and it's just going to slowly come off bit by bit. And so if anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear those. If you have any questions or comments that you want to share with me, I'd love to, talk about those as well. I do want to say I had put a Reddit post up a few days ago about me and Carrie's progress, and we got a lot of feedback. And it's always nice to get the feedback and the affirmations and things like that. But having people message me and tell me about how, like just the way I describe things in that post or said things, help make them make better choices when they are, when they're faced with, the option to make a poor food choice. And so it's really great having, getting that feedback. And I hope that, I can continue to inspire others. So, some of what I was talking about in the comments, they were specifically was, like going to a fast food restaurant. Like I used to have this argument with myself all the time, like from the night before until I would drive up to the fast food restaurant in the morning. I would argue with myself mentally, like internally, about whether or not I was going to stop and get breakfast, or if today was going to be the day that my diet actually started. And I lost the battle all the time. I mean, thousands of times probably over the course of the last 4 years, at least, where I'm at. I'm surrounded by fast food here where I'm at, which has, helped facilitate the weight gain, but it's not good for my overall health. But, and just the, but what I had said in particular that kind of helped, I think, with them was about that, the diet that we eat, we're not marketed to kind of anymore or as much. There's nobody trying to get us to eat broccoli or trying to get us. In fact, people are kind of actively, anyways, but there's nobody pushing for you to go buy the produce at the grocery store. But these fast food restaurants, I mean, McDonald's, I don't know if I mentioned this on stream or not, but I kind of looked it up and I don't know, but it's like over $500 million they spent to advertise in the US alone. And that's just McDonald's. That's not all of the other fast food restaurants. It's not all of the cereal companies. It's not all of the other people. And so by being on this diet, it really kind of just takes us out of that game. It just takes us out of the being marketed to. And and that's great because then I don't even have to pay attention to a lot of that stuff. And the way they can sell us is by making that nutrition label have more plant-based ingredients and fewer processed foods. And so that's been kind of, like, it's wild to me to think, because like those arguments that I lost in the morning, were lost before, even in the moment, probably. But the, what like influences were making me even think about whether or not I was going to eat that the next morning. Did I see an ad for a fast food restaurant and then it made me think about the next time I'm going to go to fast food, which would have been the next morning? And then I would be like, oh, well, maybe maybe tomorrow morning will be the morning I don't stop and get Burger King or go to the fast food restaurants. And then, I get driving up and you see the signs and the colors and the ease of it and all of the, on the billboard, this is the new thing this week. And you got to try this new version of the same thing that we've sold you, but we're just going to put them in a different order. Or we're going to remove one ingredient or add another. And it's all the same stuff, especially at a place like, Taco Bell. It's the same 5 ingredients. They just mix up the way they put them together. And then the other thing that I had commented on that post that kind of had gotten some good feedback was that, like, when I think about eating now, I do get excited about the food in a different way. Like, I got excited about eating fast food like because it would give me that dopamine rush and it would give me that or whatever. But like now I get excited because the food I'm going to eat is food that is going to improve my life, or it's going to make things in my body work better and not take away from it. And the foods I was eating and the quantities of that food that I was eating was really taking away from my overall health. And so I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit. I don't think I talked about that on, I might have mentioned the post or whatever, but just kind of, I appreciate that people do find some inspiration from what I'm doing. And, that helps keep me motivated to continue on, after having how bad is the stream quality here? Let's see what's going on. I'm dropping frames. It says it got pretty bad there. So I hope that the quality of the stream isn't getting screwed up for you guys too bad. But I did get a notification about it. Let's see. So I got to try to close that up, get these notes back up. What did I have to talk about? So food wise, wasn't a whole lot going on for us. We had leftovers from the Sunday meal, which if you tuned in yesterday, it was not one of the meals that I would be requesting in the future. Carrie tried to doctor it up a little bit, add some juices. It was a bit dry the first day, and change it up a little bit, just adding some flavors. And yeah, it was still about the same. I actually probably preferred it the other way, just because it was I didn't quite like the soupiness of it that we had it last night. But like I said on Sunday, and kind of yes, sometimes food is food, and and you got to eat what's put in front of you, and I know that that wasn't going to be my last meal, and that I would have meals in the future that are more enjoyable than this one. Carrie says she just ordered pizzas for a birthday tonight. Yes, we have family birthday. Our youngest twins are turning 5 today, so probably won't push the time too long on the stream. But so we are having some family over, and really, it's weird being plant-based now, I guess, or eating vegan is just an odd thing for trying to have company over. My daughter, we had a birthday party for her a while back in February, so a few months after we were into this, and we ended up doing it in the morning. Or no, it wasn't a birthday party. It was we're Catholic. She got confirmed, so she had her first communion. Not confirmed. She had her first. We're Catholic. She was not confirmed. She had her first communion in February of last year, and we had kind of a gathering afterwards. It worked out that it was breakfast, and we did an oatmeal bar that it was went over really well. Everybody was satisfied. We didn't have to provide any meat. We just brought fruits and berries and oatmeal and cinnamon and sugar, and we had ingredients that me and Carrie couldn't eat, but it was still something that everybody could kind of enjoy. With the dinner, it's really tough because there are very few meals that me and Carrie eat that I know that our guests would necessarily just grab and just eat. We could probably get away with a few things, or maybe making something that is vegan but not whole food plant-based, SOS free. The vegan bar, or the oatmeal bar, was really good, and it went over really well. But for dinner, it's really tough. And we don't have any products for cooking meat in our house, or animal stuff in our house. We don't have eggs. We don't have, any meat. We don't have a lot of the things that you would need to make a meal that would appeal to people that eat animal products. And so kind of the easiest thing for us to do, kind of, we were talking about it this morning, you know, we'd been trying to figure out what to do, and it's just order pizza for them. You know, it's going to be something where our kids will have the pizza too, because, you know, it tastes good. I mean, and that's going to be what they want. We're not going to, you know, and it's not going to harm them to have pizza. We just are trying to limit the amount of animal products that they're exposed to. Carrie says, and she doesn't want to bring those ingredients into the house either. Yeah. Or like, yeah, just you know, cause we don't like, it's, you know, we're not worried about cross contamination, and we're not like super like, you know, straight down, you know, with the way of eating or the veganism, but we just didn't Carrie says she did the same thing for taking a meal to a friend. She just ordered a meal rather than cooking a non-vegan one at home. Yeah. And those are options that we have. And that's great that we have an option that we can get pizza and bring the pizza in. And you know, I'll try my hardest not to give my family shit while I watch them eat the pizza. But it's one of those, it's a weird kind of, nobody that's an adult, well, yeah, none of my siblings are like a super healthy weight. And so, and I'm not either. I'm still not there. You know, I have siblings that are skinnier than me, and now when I started this, I was by far the heaviest person in my family. And now I'm starting to kind of pass them up and lose weight. And I want them to see what I'm doing and be influenced and decide that they should try it or do something down this vein as far as way of eating in life, you know. And it's weird because I do have a younger brother who switched over to a vegan style diet or a non-animal product diet before I started this, and he doesn't eat the whole food plant-based. You know, he has a lot of kind of junk food in his diet, but you know, I really want to be, you know, I need the scale to start moving again, and I think it will, but it's because I want to be to the end of the weight loss so I can really push people. I feel like they're just not going to take me serious because I'm still over 300 pounds. And yeah, it would be nice for kind of, you know, so when they're at my house, and you know, my mom watches these, I suppose, sometimes, but I give her a hard time a lot. Like if anything comes up about any type of medical whatever, or soreness or tiredness or whatever, I kind of always throw out there, well, you should check and see if they try a plant-based diet, you know. And you know, and I say it in jest, hoping that kind of it'll push somebody to do something. And I saw something today, and I can't remember the whole, there's a video that I started watching, there's a documentary that I started watching that was about, it's called The Invisible Vegan. It's about a lady, and she's African American, and it's like the culture trying to become vegan, trying to be vegan and African American, and the difficulty of that. But the guy, gosh, why did I bring it up? Like I know the guy's face that was talking about it, and I just can't think of what I was just. I'm just lost right now. Shoot. I don't know. I got thinking about the whether or not to mention the movie or not, and I got distracted on my train of thought with pushing people. And yes, I remember. I know where I'm at now. I'm back. The you know, like, to just get people to try changing something in their life for a little bit of time. And what they had recommended, or a doctor was recommending, Carrie says you were talking about giving your mom crap. Yes. This doctor was saying to, instead of getting people to eliminate meat maybe right away, get them to eliminate dairy. Just get rid of, and that's by far the toughest, or, was the toughest for me to get rid of, was dairy. But if you can get people to, because they were talking about acid reflux, and this guy, a patient had come in and he was complaining acid reflux. He had a lot of different things going on. And the doctor was like, just try eliminating just dairy for a week. Then a week later, the guy's feeling great. And, and it's, and so that's what I wish I could get somebody or convince them to just try it for maybe longer than a week, maybe a couple weeks, but get rid of dairy for a couple weeks, get rid of animal products for a couple weeks. And it's going to be tough, and things are going to be difficult to deal with the change. But I'm 10 months into a plant-based diet. I'm 11 months into this diet overall, this whole thing starting tomorrow. And I've done low calorie diets. I've taken pills and done different subscription things to lose weight. And I don't remember ever wanting to be as pushy about my diet as I am now. I especially the last time I lost weight, I knew that it was a very much a willpower and a thing that I was able to do that maybe not other people can do. And the fasting is kind of that same way, is that I know I can fast, or I knew I could fast for very long times. I don't know if I could fast that long again, but I knew that I could do those things, and it wasn't necessarily what other people could do. So it's hard for me to recommend that, like extended water fasting. It's hard for me to say, you should do that because it's going to make a difference. But I can easily say switching to a plant-based diet is going to make a difference. I mean, it's just the way it is. There's, especially if you were like me and you're going from a diet that you have to, like, there's a type of diet that you have to eat to be a 500-pound person. And there's not many whole foods in that diet. And so by switching to a whole food plant-based diet, it kind of eliminated all of those bad things that I used to be able to eat. And now they're not even on my radar anymore, And so it's just it's something that, I really wish I could get, everybody on board to try it for a little while. And let me see. I feel like I had something else I was working on with that. I got like a weird alert up there as well. Let me pull my notes up. So yes, that's where I was going to go with it. So it doesn't just, it's not just my, it is just my close family that I want to push the diet on. And it's crazy because my in-laws, switched over to this diet in a heartbeat. Like, I don't even know what they had going on their end, but I mean, it was not long after me and Carrie were eating this way that they switched over to this diet too. And it didn't take any influence from me losing weight or any influence from, I think that they were just motivated. I think there was some health issues with other family members, and then maybe some scares with them as well, that kind of, they wanted to do something, I think. But yeah, I want to get all of my family to eat this way, and I want to get my friends to eat this way. And I got a friend of mine that I hang out with, and I always kind of jab at him, like, you need to watch Game Changers, like, you need to watch something, you need to do, and they, but they don't have the same difficulty with weight like I have, and so it's tough when somebody is, when somebody only weighs 200 pounds, it's hard to convince them the change because they're not that far away from being a healthy weight, and they doing such a drastic change for only a 20-pound weight loss seems so crazy. But I mean, it's such a lifelong thing. And I mean, and that's kind of what I give him a hard time about too, is the longevity. Golden's stopping and saying hi Golden. I hope everything's going well with you. So not just my friends, and I want you guys that are watching me to consider a plant-based diet and just try it for a while and see how it goes. But like, even I went grocery shopping the other day, and it was hard, like, because there was so much going on. It was hard in that like there's so many, yeah, I want to, like, I see people on mobility scooters that are not that overweight, but they're overweight, and there was a lady leaving that she was pushing a shopping cart that probably could have been a shopping cart that we would have had left the grocery store with before we started this. But it's got all kinds of processed foods on the inside, and then the whole top of the shopping cart has got 6 packs of diet sodas kind of on the top to, as like a bumper around the edge of the the carts. If you ever, you'd have to see it, I guess, to understand, or you might know what I'm talking about. But I mean, just filled with soda and all this other stuff. And she's like pushing the cart with her elbows kind of leaned over, and I just kind of wanted to look at her and just be like, I know why your joints are sore. I know why you have these issues, and I mean, I'm not going to do it, but it's just like, God, I wish, and if somebody would have done it to me, I'd have slapped them in the face, but, and then, with the way we eat with us, not eating animal products, and I've been kind of, ever since I watched the movie Dominion, I really have been, pretty on board with veganism, as far as the way of life. I can't get on board. I'm going to say that I can't get on board with not killing insects though. Because if I can't not kill a fly. I mean, there was a bug, like this millipede or centipede in my office today. I wasn't going to let him go. I'm sorry. But animal products like the let's see. Golden says you're becoming an activist for the plant-based. Yeah. You're over 6 months plants, but that's awesome. Mostly whole foods with salt and oil and some processed junk every now and then again. Yeah. But I hope you're feeling great. How have you been feeling in the 6 months now that you're doing it? And I kind of added some salt and sugar, and I might talk about that in a minute. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to talk about it, but yeah, I'm at the grocery store, and there's this whole butcher area in the back end of the grocery store, and there's people lined up leaving, and again, like the lady with the sore muscles, there's a lady leaving, and I just want to look at her and just be like, do you think that pig had a name, or do you think he was just a number? Try to put a face to it. And I saw a video, I don't know if it was a recent video or not, but somebody had taken, I guess in the sheep or lamb or something. It was another country, but essentially what happens is baby sheep end up freezing to death as part of the whole process of what happens. And they had brought one of these lambs that had frozen to death. They brought it into a grocery store and kind of set up shop next to where they had a big area where they were selling lamb, and they had lamb chops, and they had all kinds of different cuts of lamb, and they had a big board about, what to buy or whatever. And people got really upset, and understandably, that you bring a dead animal in off the street, there's kind of a bit of a grossness factor to it. But at the same time, there is just piles of dead animals right next to it. So it's not, the fact that it still had eyeballs and a mouth and teeth kind of made it different. Golden says, Dominion is a real eye opener. Saw a documentary too and went vegan overnight. Yeah, yeah, I saw some stat that was something stupid. There was no way it was a real stat, but it was something like a huge percentage. The number that they gave seemed too high, but it doesn't surprise me that if you can get somebody to sit down and watch a movie like Dominion, what kind of influence that has on somebody. And like that particular movie's tough because it's probably got the highest kill count of any movie I've ever seen. You know, like they always say, you know, how many people did they kill in the Expendables movie, or how many people did Rambo kill in his last movie? Dominion is going to have the highest kill count of any movie you've ever seen. I mean, I don't know how long that movie is, but it is, if it's an hour and 10 minutes, it's an hour and 10 minutes of murder. And so, yeah, that was a tough one. And so, but yeah, going grocery shopping, I really am having just this, you know, it was, you know, it's all in my head. I'm these mental kind of things I'd like to poke and prod, but and trying to find ways that maybe it's not that aggressive as, you know, leaning into somebody and saying, I know why your joints are sore. Or, you know, do you think that animal had a name? But trying to find some way to subtly influence people. And that's kind of what this diet is. I'm hoping this diet does for me, for the people that are right around me, that maybe if, you know, they see that it is that much healthier, or you can be that much healthier on this diet, that it would, Golden says it's a horror film. It is. I was not expecting it. I don't know what I thought I was going to, see when I started that movie. But, yeah, what they do to the male baby chickens, with the macerator was a bit much. And then, honestly, and I don't even know what we use rabbit fur for. That rabbit fur bit was pretty graphic to me too, because, we don't shave rabbits for their fur. We just pull it right off of them while they're alive. So, whatever we use rabbit fur for, I just don't support that, because that was just something else. I mean, the whole movie's got, I mean, and yeah, it's just crazy. But Carrie says, you always think if we just save one person at a time, make them food and improve their life, and then let them go once they're, yeah, you know, and that's what Carrie's talked about, like trying to find a way to just like, you know what, we'll make your meals for you for 2 weeks, you know, or until you can figure it out. And that can help. But I think that, you know, for us, especially with the, you know, I was in a very bad spot. Carrie wasn't in a great spot either, health wise. And it was, you know, I was definitely at the end of my rope. Have you heard of Challenge 22? I feel like I've heard that. Yes. Let me just look it up real quick and see what let's try vegan. Is it just doing it for like 22 days, or doing it for, it's doing, yeah, it's trying veganism. What is Challenge 22? You get into a Facebook group and it's all plant-based. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I hadn't really, yeah, I feel like I had heard of challenge, like the term before, but unless it's like, I don't see any other names attached to it or any movies or Animals Now. Yeah, it doesn't seem familiar, but, you get a mentor if you need great help for people who want to start. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you're interested, check out the challenge22.com, and, I'll have to look into it more too, to see kind of what it is. But yeah, if they offer a mentor, and, you know, it looks like they have a frequently asked question that is all, you know, how do you get enough protein on a vegan diet? You know, what about B12? Is soy healthy? Do I need to still take supplements? You know, lots of questions I'm sure that all the, you know, people have. And, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I'll have to look into that or see about, wonder how they develop their mentors, I guess. That would be more interesting to me, I guess. But if you are looking to switch over, I would recommend that. Let's see, I could talk a little bit more. I talked a little bit yesterday about I'm in the middle of the How Not to Diet by Dr. Greger. I've passed the halfway point on the audiobook, but I still have probably 10 hours to go yet on the book. I'm circadian stuff is something that I'm kind of, yeah, it's cool. I mean, he's a really cool thing with the book is, I mean, his website is called nutritionfacts.org, and he doesn't really present any anecdotal information in this book. But, one of his famous things is to say, well, in order to find out for that, they'd have to put it to the test. And so he takes, the whole book is just thousands. I'd be interested to see the source citations on these books, because there's so many studies that he is referencing, even in just this circadian kind of part of the book about the way of eating, and how that they took groups of people and they fed them the same amount of food at 8 a.m. as they did at 8 p.m. And there was an improved weight loss on the people that ate at 8 a.m. Even if the people worked a night shift or did a simulated night shift. So or your body uses the food different when the sun goes down, or when it knows the sun is going down, than when the sun's coming up, or it knows that the day is just started. Regardless of what your day is, as far as if it's the end of the day or the beginning of the day for you, your body does something different with the food based on the actual time of day it is, not what not your lifestyle. And that kind of is what I kind of talked about a little bit ago. But if humans are 100,000 years old, even if they're 10,000 years old, then that times 365 days a year is, that's how many, that's what our evolution is based off of. And our kind of, it's it's 365 million. It's 3,650,000. I wanted to make sure I got the number right, and then I said it wrong when I looked at it and written it. But that's a lot of sunrises and sunsets over the course of our ancestry or our history. Okay, so Golden made a comment about where do you get your protein. Yeah, that and it's really crazy, like, do you need as much protein as you're like, if you did a protein count on what I was used to eat, I'm sure I was eating hundreds of grams of protein a day. What are you doing with those extra protein grams? You're putting them on your body as fat, or you're just pooping them out, so they're not really any great. And then Carrie says she wants to be a mentor. Yeah. Yeah. That's, if anybody has questions, I'd love to mentor you here, like that's part of what this is. But yeah, I just screwed that up. So, but yeah, so I'm really digging the part of the book I'm in. Again, it is a long book, so there's a lot of information that he goes over, and not everything, is super exciting or super interesting. And to everybody too, like there's some people that might not care at all about the circadian stuff that I'm really excited about right now. And, they might be more excited about the stuff he talks about with other things. I have not seen this guy's speech either. You're just throwing all kinds of stuff at us here today, Golden. I do watch quite a bit of stuff video wise, so I would not hesitate to check it out. But he is, I don't know what this guy is. Let's see. He is an American animal rights activist and lecturer. He has a major influence on contemporary veganism. So he was sponsored by PETA for a while. No, I haven't seen his speech. I'd have to research it though. But yeah, I'll look that up. Again, I am very into like evolutionary things, and that is Milton Mills. I talked about that yesterday. If you don't mind the link. Yeah, I don't know if they'll let you link anything on the chat or not, but if you wanted to throw it up there, it's fine. I'm not, I'm sure not too awful of a speech, or too crazy. But yeah, so the with the circadian stuff, that kind of comes listening to that and about the daily kind of how our body responds to different things or different what's the influence of different, I can't think of it right now, but that kind of comes off of me watching this past weekend. There's like an hour and 15-minute speech by Milton Mills. It just talks about bone structure and difference between carnivores and herbivores and humans and things like that. And I definitely, am on board with a lot of what he was saying too. But that is 42 minutes in the day, so I gotta go. I got birthday for our kids to go home to, so we are we'll have that going on. Family's coming over. I talked about that. I have no idea what we're actually eating. I'll have to get that from Carrie on my way home. But I do appreciate you guys for checking out my video and supporting me throughout kind of this whole process so far. And I will be back on tomorrow. I'm going to be weighing in. We're going to call it my official 11-month weigh-in tomorrow, unless I gain weight, and then we'll make next week my official. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to gain weight. It'll be great. But I will, I'll be back on tomorrow for weigh-in Wednesday. If you guys haven't already, make sure that you do subscribe to my channel, click on the bell icon, turn on notifications, thumbs up this video, interact, all that stuff helps me out trying to grow the channel. And if you guys haven't started your diet already, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. You don't have anything coming up that's more important than your health. So get started now and tell somebody you're getting started. Maybe they'll give you more help than you expected, or maybe they are, just having somebody to be accountable to as well is going to be helpful, because you don't want to see that person the next time and be like, oh, I didn't do anything, and so, you want to be able to say, yeah, I've been doing great, and so that would be why I would say to let somebody know. Anyways, thanks again, Golden. Thanks for the information about the Challenge 22 and this Gary Yorovsky. Yeah, that's hard to say, even with the thing next to it. But you guys all have a great day. We will see you tomorrow.